Hello, sports fans, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Inside Titan Sports. My name is Eric Kohler, and as always, thanks for dialing us in. This week, we'll talk men's golf with head coach Jamie Howell, and we'll catch up with a hot baseball start at 7-2 with a couple of our featured players. But first, let's sit down and go one-on-one with our very own women's basketball team. We got Stephanie Schaefer, and we got Trudy Walker. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hey, big win, double overtime.
Great win.
22 points, 21 rebounds.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you're quiet, but you're a hoss down low, right?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, you scored 10 points of your 14 rebounds in the double overtime, and that was a gritty win for your team, and you guys are still playoff eligible. Talk about, Trudy, that big win and for the team after Coach Grimes passed away, all that jazz. That's big for the program across the board.
It was awesome, and I really enjoyed it. But I would like to reflect back on Coach Grimes.
Right.
The last Palm Beach game, the first time I played Palm Beach for conference, and at the end of the game in the locker room, he was like happy how we all played. And even though we lost, he was still happy with the adversity that we faced. And he told me in the locker room, he said, for the rest of the season, I want a double-double. That's what I want from you. And whatever you have to do, I want you to do it. And then he always gets on me about stepping up in leadership and leading the team. So that played a lot on Saturday's game about what I had to do so that my team can depend on me through the adversity that we was faced.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a special game and a special story. And now you have 13 triple-doubles on a season, which is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest thing on getting positioned down low? I mean, what's your technique to get down there to get those extra boards down low?
Well, I've been taught the lower person always win.
Okay. So
that's what my dad has taught me growing up, and just battling, like, who wants it the baddest.
Well, that's pretty good.
No.
So getting low is the biggest key.
Getting low and pushing back. I can't tell you everything else.
I can't take that's a secret.
Secrets
there.
of rebounding.
Now, Coach, that was a big win. I mean, obviously serving as interim head coach position, beating Miami-Dade like that in double overtime to come back and just keep grinding and win that double overtime. I mean, talk about that win for the ladies and the team.
It was so exciting. We erupted in the locker room afterwards. we were pumped. As you know, it's been a tough season, and I feel like we've been in there in some close games. And I mean, right before Christmas break, we were beat by a buzzer beater against Florida State College of Jacksonville. And so when they hit a three to send it into double overtime, I thought, oh no, not again. But the girls, we've preached all season long, 40 minutes, 40 minutes. So here we were going above and beyond 40 minutes, and I just saw such effort from every single person on the team. It was remarkable.
Well, I mean, especially after the tragedy, everything that's happened with Coach Grimes passing and being so sudden. Now, since a little time has gone beyond, what do you guys talk about in the locker room of keeping the spirit alive for Coach Grimes? Trudy, what do you feel about some of the things he told you about? Go get those double-doubles. What brings a smile to your face right now when you think about Coach Grimes?
All the times that we didn't really butt heads in practice, but he would like really challenge me every game. And even when I was a freshman coming in, he would challenge me like, this is what I want from you. This is what I want you to do. Like, I want you not only to get double-doubles, but lead the team and pull others with you. So that's one thing he taught me real well.
Well, and that's the biggest thing, too, is because you're going to take a lot of these things that you've gone through adversity in terms of off the court, on the court. These are big life lessons, Trudy, and you can learn a lot through adversity, and I think that's a testament to your strength as well. Coach Schaefer, obviously you've traveled the world, now you're put in a spot, now you're coaching and all that jazz. Yeah. Is that coaching spot really kind of got you excited moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, like what I shared last week with you was just I feel like Coach Grimes really said a lot of things to each of us to kind of propel us forward. I mean, obviously we didn't know what kind of circumstances we'd be facing, but just with him encouraging Trudy with the double-doubles and kind of he had a lot of talks with me that last week we were coaches together of just like, hey, I believe in you. I think you can do this. And I've really just seen all the girls step up. I talked a lot about the first day we were together as a team of we lost our loudest voice in the room. So now we all have to come together and speak accountability into one another, and I think Coach would be so proud of Trudy. I think she's really, he'd always call a spade with Trudy of like, Trudy Walker, I need you to do this and this, and because he knew that she would respond well and take it, and I think Trudy and all the other ladies on the team have responded really well and stepped up to the challenge of, no one could have prepared us for this, but and a lot of other coaches from around the conference and around the state have asked, how are you guys doing it? And we're really doing it together as part of the Titan 4.
You know, the biggest thing is we lose Coach Grimes, but the fact is now we have other disciples that his presence is with us. Even the short time that I got to know him, he had such a powerful message. And I'll tell you what, looking back at that special show last week, Rob Landers did a fantastic job of putting that together, is that message you talked about, share that again. That really didn't absorb to me. You were talking about, hey, Coach Grimes said, hey, you're good about shaking the other players' hands.
Yeah.
Go in there and talk to the team. Talk about that story, because that was pretty profound if you look back on it now, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was a very powerful moment at the game. You know, there's all of these things happening at the Palm Beach gym, and he was really good about putting your hand on your shoulder and just looking you in the eye and just really reaching people. And so he did that with me, and he said, you know, I think you've shaken enough teams' hands. I want you to sit the girls down and get them ready for the game. And it was really powerful in that moment of, you know, him kind of passing this extra baton of leadership to me. But then obviously it meant so much more knowing that that was our last game together in coaching. And so that's really given me encouragement when I think there's been seasons or moments I've maybe felt a little bit overwhelmed, but we've done it together. And I just remember Coach Grimes being like, look everybody in the eye and lead them. Like, let's press on together.
And that's the biggest thing too, Trudy, is that I know that you're kind of a soft-spoken person, but you're such a strong player on the court. But now you're starting to see that you're taking that energy that Coach Grimes gave you to really kind of be that outspoken leader. And I think that's important as a life lesson.
Yeah, because in practice we need it. Because like as Coach stated, he was the loudest voice in the gym. He was.
I can see
doubt.
that.
Yeah,
No
so
doubt.
it was. I had to get determined. Like, okay, you need to step up. You need to talk more. You need to get everybody focused. Like, if we lose track in practice, okay, get them back together. You know, Coach shouldn't have to say anything. So I took that leadership role and like, okay, be a better leader for my teammates.
Well, I think that's good too. Now, what are your plans after Eastern Florida? What are you looking to do? You going to continue to play some basketball?
Yes, sir.
So you
I
got
didn't mean like that, but yes.
No, but I think that's good though, because you have that confidence on the court. I'm just glad that you're getting that confidence off the court, because you need that, because you got such a special talent. Now I want to something. What is the rebound record for women's Titans? What is it? What's the number?
I don't know.
What are you going to get this week? What's your goal this week for Coach Grimes?
33 rebounds.
33 rebounds. You think you can do it?
Yeah, I think I can do it. I believe in myself.
I like
you believe
that.
in me?
I believe,
You believe in me?
Oh,
That would be super to have you
1000%.
on the show with 33 rebounds. Now,
Oh,
Coach,
yeah.
speaking of which, going forward, what is the next game that you're looking for? This weekend you got a big game. Talk about that game.
Yeah, so we have a big game against Indian River. We went to their place last time, and they had such a huge crowd.
Wow,
and
okay.
we were leading at halftime, and like I had said, we've preached 40 minutes of basketball all season, and unfortunately we didn't play with our principals in the second half. And so I'm really looking forward to having Indian River here. Their coach has just gone above and beyond in blessing our team and our program.
Right.
The head coach there, Coach Couch, she made team shirts for us that said Coach Grimes on the back.
That's
and
special.
It really is, and she came and spoke with us and just said, you know, he was my friend, what a quality man he was, and shared stories with us. So it'll be fun to compete against them, you know, a team that's really been in our corner in just what they've said and what they've done, and it'll be a fun one.
Well, that's pretty good. What time is that game time slated for this weekend?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock admission is free?
It is.
Well, I'll tell you what, good job, Coach. Trudy, great job.
Thank you.
Good luck. I want you to come back on the show with the 33 rebounds.
Yes, sir.
That's Stephanie Schaefer. That's Trudy Walker. I'm Eric Kohler. Stay right there. This is Inside Titan Sports. Baseball, that's coming up next.
Eastern Florida State College. This is where you discover new opportunities, where you pursue your dreams, and careers take flight. Apply now for new bachelor and associate degree programs in business, healthcare, computer technology, and other growing fields. Eastern Florida, where Titans rise. Apply today.
Hey fans, welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. It's time to talk Titans baseball. With that being said, we have a couple featured players with us for the first time. We have Jacob McFadden and Ian Acevedo. Gentlemen, welcome to Inside Titan Sports.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, Jacob and Ian, great start to the season, guys. You guys were off to 7-2 start, and you guys are hitting very, very well. Jacob, you're hitting over 400. Talk about your success this season so far.
So far, just been trying to keep things simple.
Okay.
As a team, I know that we're going to hit 1 through 9, so trying to pass the torch off to the next guy.
That's pretty good. Ian, you're hitting pretty well, too. Talk about your secret right now.
I mean, trust the process. We're being off to a good start and just being positive every time to the plate, going for a 1-for-1 at bat, trying to always win that bat.
That's pretty good. Now, you guys had a good week last week. You guys were 4-0. Pitching has been very special. Talk about some of the pitchers, Jacob, that have really brought it so far this season.
Our starting pitching's phenomenal. I think some of the best arms in our conference are probably on our team.
Okay.
We have Gabe, Tyler, Tommy, Ryan Lang, Chandler, and our bullpen's going to pitch too. We're going to be good. We're going to be all right.
So how did you find Eastern Florida? What's the story, Ian? Because obviously Eastern Florida baseball is pretty big in the baseball circle right now. How did you find Eastern Florida?
I mean, growing up, I played baseball in Dominican Republic.
Okay.
I came to the States. I was 17 years old.
Okay.
And I played high school baseball here for 1 semester, and I went to Miami-Dade College
Okay.
for 1 semester, for 1 year. And then I transferred here last spring. Coach Tam gave me an opportunity to prove everybody wrong and to ball out here.
That's pretty good. Now, what position do you play for the Titans baseball team?
Third baseman.
So you play that hot pocket corner, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Now, Jacob, what position do you play with the Titans?
I play the outfield,
You play center field, left or right?
right and left.
Okay, that's pretty good. So you got some versatility. So some of the places that you play within conference, it seems like we have one of the best facilities at that level. Don't you agree? That's a nice playing surface you guys play for, Ian.
I mean, I've been around a lot of junior colleges in Florida. I think we have the top facilities in the state.
Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
Coach Bochy to be able to have that money and name the field. I mean, Jacob, I mean, there's a lot of space out there. When you talk about you're playing out in the outfield, there's a lot of acreage you got to cover them when the ball's hit to you.
Yeah. I mean, it's a nice playing surface, nice facility. Clubhouse is phenomenal. Batting cages are phenomenal. I mean, our infield's phenomenal. Everything's just good about it, you know?
So how did you find Eastern Florida?
Actually, Gabe Rodriguez sent me a text.
Okay.
And said, hey, you want to come here? We can help you out getting here. So I set up a workout with Coach Tam, and then I'm here now.
That's pretty good. Now, what's your goal, Ian? What's your goal after Eastern Florida to continue? Obviously, you want to play professional baseball. What do you think you got to do to get to that level?
I mean, I need to start building on my success I've been having the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
Looking for draft possibilities, and if not, looking for a big school to go, Division I, and take it from there.
So ideally, what would you like to do? Would you like to continue to play college, or if you got the opportunity, would you jump on that and go to the pros?
I would jump in the pros. That's one of my dreams since I'm a little kid. That's my dream right there.
I tell you what, it's a really hard journey, and we wish you luck. Jacob, what were you going to do after Eastern Florida baseball?
Building off what Ian said, my parents are big on education. They want me to go to school 100%, but like he said, I mean, it's been a dream since I was a little kid to play professional baseball, so can't say no to that if you're going to get paid to play.
Well, I want to talk to you about this. You know, I've announced baseball for a long time, spring training for the Nationals, Astros, UCF baseball for several years. You know, the one thing I've noticed is that kids get that opportunity. They throw you a signing bonus, you get drafted, but you kind of take away that college experience that you never get to have again. What are your thoughts about that, Jacob, of kind of bypassing a part of your life you can never revisit again?
I mean, like I just said, it's been a dream to play professional baseball, so
Right.
I think that the college experience is nice, but at the same time, a smaller percentage get to go play pro ball.
Right.
And that's what I want to do with my life.
So, Ian, what do you think about that? Some of these kids, that they go and all of a sudden now you're on a bus in a smaller town and just kind of the numbers are increased. I mean, you're ready to play baseball. It doesn't matter, right?
Yes, sir. I mean, it's a tough journey.
Right.
It's a high risk, high reward. I mean, you're setting aside like your education. That's always that you're gonna have for your life.
Right.
But the percentage of people that go on and play pro ball is really small. So just have the opportunity. I mean, it's something I can say no to it.
Well, Dominican, obviously, they love baseball down there. Do they have the youth programs and the grassroots programs that really build up kids to play baseball?
Yes, sir. I mean, ever since like Little League, 4 years old.
I'll be darned.
That's all you do. Play baseball day in, day out.
Do they have also things like the levels of Babe Ruth? I mean, is it kind of the same way as the American baseball set up?
It works different. We don't have that high school baseball program.
okay.
We have like organized baseball until 12 years old. After that, you join programs
Okay.
with trainers just to get ready, like showcase yourself and for the organization and try to sign pro ball. It's kind of a different type of thing.
Okay. Okay. Now, is your family here? Where's your mom and dad? Are they still back in the Dominican Republic?
Yes, sir. Back there.
That's pretty good. I mean, do they get a chance? It's nice that some of the games, guys, are televised now on WEFS. I think that's a great opportunity for them to live stream it. I think our first conference game or televised game, I believe, is on February the 28th. So you got to make sure that you tell your parents and tell your parents to stream it. Now, are your parents local, Jacob?
I'm actually from St. Petersburg.
I'll be darned. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, they can make the weekend games, but the midweek games are kind of hard to come to. So the televised is going to be nice.
So, I mean, what do they think about Eastern Florida baseball? They're all fired up. They got their caps and jerseys and all that jazz?
They got the caps and jerseys. They love it. They love every second of it.
Now, what's the goal as a team this year? Because obviously Eastern Florida seems like it's always loaded each and every year with talent, and obviously you two included with that. What is your goal this year? Obviously to win conference, get back to state?
I think probably we'll start off with a conference title and then just build from there. Obviously a state title would be nice, and then go into Grand Junction, finish the year out there would be nice.
I mean, Ian, what do you think about the team this year? What's your kind of like, obviously a great start so far, but where do you think this team can go?
I mean, this team can go. If we pull all together how we've been putting on, we have high goals. I think winning the conference and go to state and go to the dance, win it all. I mean, that should be the goal. Like we have the talent here.
That's pretty good. Now you have a big game coming up on Friday. I believe Santa Fe, as we were talking off air, Santa Fe took the title last season, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, that's actually pretty good to play that high level early in the season to see where you guys kind of gauge up or gauge down.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good test for us, see where we gauge up against a former state champion and just keep building on what we've been doing, building on success.
Well, I'll tell you, what do you guys do on your off-season time? I mean, obviously you guys are all in baseball, but when you guys get something to turn off, tell some of the viewers what something they might not know about you that's kind of fun about Jacob McFadden.
I like to surf a lot.
You like to surf, okay.
I like to surf and fish. At heart, I'm a beach kid who just happens to play baseball at the same time. So, I mean, I spend my time on the water. That's what I do.
That's pretty good. Ian, what do you do away from baseball to kind of just have some fun and just let it go?
I mean, I like to go to the beach, relax, nice beach in Dominican Republic in my off season. That's what I love the most, family time. That's who I am right there.
That's pretty good. I'll tell you what, you guys did a great job, and you guys are always welcome on the show. Look forward to having you on any time. But good luck on Friday. Big opportunity. I believe it's 5 o'clock first pitch.
Yes, sir.
So against Santa Fe, so come on out there and support you guys. But Ian Acevedo, nice job. Jacob McFadden, good job, fellas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take a short break, come back and talk men's golf with our very own head coach, Jamie Howell. This is Inside Titan Sports.
This is where we're building the future. This is where we meet the challenge, where leaders emerge and careers take flight. This is where you discover new opportunities. Choose to stand where excellence lives, where titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Hey fans, welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. This is our final segment, but with that being said, I want to wish a Happy New Year to the head coach of the men's Titans team, Jamie Howell. Hey coach.
Likewise, good to be back.
Haven't seen you in a while. How's life? You guys started off with a great win to start off the year. Talk about that.
Right now, life's pretty good. Boys come in first this past week at the Titan Winter Invitational. Got off to a good start.
I'll tell you what, it looked like you guys had some really good balance across the board from the team.
We did. That was a key to it. The last day, we were leading by 7 going into the final round, and we stayed that way. So it was a good team effort. One side note: the young man who was medalist played on our second team. Oh, no. So it was fun to watch that happen as well. It was a good kick in the pants for the guys.
Well, I'll tell you what. How does that work out in terms of when you set your rotation for a big tournament or invitational like that?
We normally don't set it. Golf being a little different, we qualify.
Okay.
We played 5 rounds qualifying. I had 4 spots available. Fraser Davern was exempt from qualifying. He finished second in the last term of the fall. So the top 4 scorers moved on to the blue team, and then the 5 players that basically followed that were our white team.
So where do you guys practice right now? I know you said you have a couple cooperative associations with some clubs, but leading up to that invitation, where will you spend a lot of your time?
We spent a lot at Suntree. That we're going to be hosting the event there. It only made sense. We should be practicing out there.
Nice.
Suntree is always in marvelous condition, and the biggest edge there is the greens are so fast. You have to spend some time on them to get familiar with them. So no question, being familiar with the home course was a big plus.
That's pretty good. Now, I mean, how do you set up the practice schedule? Now you're in full season again. You're in the spring schedule. What does it look like for some of the players going forward?
Well, we're qualifying right now. We leave this coming week to go up to Alabama and play Faulkner State's event. They're now called Coastal Alabama.
Okay.
We're qualifying right now. We can only get 36 holes in this week because we leave right away. Again, I've only got 2 spots available. A young man who won, Matthew Eschlard's exempt. Ryan Rosick finished second. He's exempt, so I've got 3 spots available. 3 guys fighting for those spots.
Well, I'll tell you, that's pretty special that you talked about Matthew being the medalist. You know, sometimes in golf, as you said, you've been around the coaching circle for a long time. The light turns on at different times for certain players.
We didn't play Matthew in the fall, making sure he had his feet underneath him with school.
Okay.
Came out, knew he was going to have to qualify for the first event, and he struggled. I don't know if he thought it was going to be easy. I don't know if he took it lightly, but he struggled, and it was probably a good wake-up call for him because he obviously showed up when the bell rung at Suntree. So that was terrific for him, and now he's going to get to make a trip in the van this coming week, and that'll be a whole new experience for him as well.
I'll tell you what, now he's got that X on his back, though, to go out there and play, but a great effort for that Invitational. Now, going forward, when you go up there and travel to a tournament, like you said, to Alabama, what does it look like logistically for the Titans men's golf team?
Big trip up there. It's about 550 miles where we're going to. It's about 9 hours in the van. We play this coming Saturday and Sunday. We return from that. Florida Tech's event is in a month at Duran.
Okay.
So we'll sleep in our own bed there. Don't have to travel too far. But then we have a nice break. We actually have a good break that the guys will need because it's a busy start to our spring. Even though we'll only have played 3 events, they're playing a lot of golf. They're qualifying. Literally, they'll have had 6 tournaments if you count the qualifying. We'll get a little break after Florida Tech's event when we go down to Barry, and Barry's a huge tournament, NCAA Division II powerhouse. We're the only junior college there. I would love to be competitive in that field. Again, that's going to be a good look for the guys at what's coming for them that are graduating and what the next couple of years might hold. Finish that, and 2 weeks later, our district championship's back in Alabama. So the end of the season is huge for us, and then it also falls way too close to exams. So I have to be careful with that so we don't miss too much class.
So how does that work? Is that going to be the same venue in Alabama, like you said, at the end of the year? The tournament that you're getting ready for this weekend?
No, we played a preview back in October. I don't know if you recall, we finished second up there at the preview in the fall.
Right.
So we're going back. It's up in Bruton, a little town just north of where we're going to this coming week.
So when you go to Alabama this weekend, how long are you guys going to be there, though?
We'll leave Thursday after class. We'll
Okay.
leave about 1:30 in the afternoon. We'll roll into town up there probably about 10 o'clock at night. Practice round Friday, tournament Saturday, Sunday, get back in the van, be back home probably early Monday morning, late Sunday night. Boys will be in class Monday morning.
Now, are you the driver for these trips?
Wouldn't have it any other way.
So tell us some fun stories. Obviously, road trips are kind of team building.
Oh, what happens in the van stays in the van, Eric. Can't relate all of that. I can say this, coming
Okay.
home from events, if we have their trophy,
Right.
it's a marvelous trip home.
And if you don't have that trophy,
There's some
crickets?
No. Typically what happens when we first get in the van on the way back, we'll grab a bite to eat because
Right.
normally we're playing early. We're hitting the road around lunchtime. Usually they all fall asleep right after lunch.
right?
About an hour or two later, they start to wake up. We'll actually do stats. They'll be doing their stats, and I'll visit with each of them as we're driving along, going over what took place, figure out what we did well, figure out what we need to do better, put it in the rearview mirror and go on.
So tournaments like that, do they give an advance time of pin sheets and stuff like that? You kind of, since you're on the road for a while, to talk about the course that's in front of you?
I actually have notes for every course we visit.
That doesn't surprise me.
So I'll bring out a scorecard that has last year's notes on it. I'll have the scores from the previous year's event. We'll have scorecards the guys can pass around and look. If some of them have done their homework, if I've sent the message, they've looked at the golf course online. That capability nowadays is light years different than it used to be. We'll talk an awful lot about in regard to what to expect. As well, what we've been doing leading up to it, I do everything I can to assimilate the conditions, save for the weather, when we go to someplace else. I'll try to find a course here that is as similar as possible to where we're going so they have a little bit of a taste of it in advance.
Well, that's pretty good. You have, like you said, you have built great bridges with a lot of local courses to kind of assimilate those conditions of what's going forward.
I think we've got a marvelous community here that supports all of our athletics. There's an awful lot of golf that takes place in Brevard County.
Right.
When we visit these golf courses, the local folks, they're interested. They want to know how we're doing. They're curious to see how the guys are doing. And now our ladies golf team, they're asking questions. What's happening in Eastern Florida with your golf teams? And that's marvelous to get to pass that along.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, you've really built a lot of good bridges in the community because, like you said, you played in a big tournament over the course. I played at Rio Pinar. You were the only junior college there as well. And now you said now you have another tournament down there at Barry that you're representing that brand of Eastern Florida. How do you do that, Coach?
I think it's more about the guys. I don't necessarily do all of that. I drive the van sometimes
Well,
and get
but
them there.
you got to have the connections.
Well, you prepare them, and a lot is based on how they perform. If you perform well, other schools are taking notice of it, and you can get in their event. It's more difficult nowadays with the NCAA schools based on their ranking and difficulty of schedule. At the same time, they recognize what it is Eastern Florida State College is doing across the board. We're basically supplying them with some of their future players. They want to see them up close and personal. They can almost use it like a recruiting trip.
It's like almost like a scout.
Could be.
So what does it look like for Coach Howell when you're walking around, your guys are out in the course? What's your role? What's your nuance? What's your kind of go-to?
I tell every one of my guys, I don't care what anybody says to you, I look the way I look. I'm not mad. I'm just grinding.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out a way to save a shot. I'm trying to figure out a way that we can have an edge, and if I'm paying attention, I can pass that along to the guys. The other side of that is I have to be the calmest, coolest coach out there because I want them to look at me and see, Coach doesn't seem worried, so we must be okay.
Right.
Because if they see me a little antsy, if they see that I'm struggling handling something, typically that's going to reflect on our players. No, I want them to look over and see that I'm the same way all the time, and they've got a job to do, and I trust their ability to do it.
Well, I think you do a great job. Now, Coach, what's the next event that the local community can come out and watch your guys play up close and in person?
Florida Tech Panther Invitational, I believe, is March 6th and 7th.
Okay.
That's a Monday and Tuesday at Durant. It's that first Monday and Tuesday in March. Good tournament. Again, an NCAA Division II event. Coach Saltmarsh has built his program up through the years. It's a good tournament. Again, good test for us, playing against upperclassmen.
I'll tell you what, Coach, great interview as always, and good luck this season.
Always a pleasure to be here, Eric. Thanks.
That's good. That's Coach Jamie Howell. We'll take it to the other side. We'll see you next week. Remember, anything and everything for Titans Athletics, visit us on EFSCTitans.com. For our producer, Rob Landers, Mike Parsons, and Sam Hensler, my name is Eric Kohler. Until next week, remember, Eastern Florida, where Titans rise.